Hello, everyone. Mr. Donahue again. We're still talking about poetic forms, right? There are different forms. The previous day's lecture, we talked about couplets and quatrains. Now we're going to talk more specifically about forms of poems that uh, poets write. Two, in particular, for this lesson: hymns and ballads. A hymn is a song or poem, in this case, devoted to ideas and emotions about God. Remember, my assertion is that poems are emotions in written form. So I always think poets are trying to recreate some kind of emotion that they feel, but in written form. And if we can, as listeners, get that emotion and feel that emotional impact, the poet's done their job. So here's an example of a typical hymn that is meant to be sung. Uh, Hymns are meant to be sung. So, o child of Bethlehem, descend to us, we pray. Cast our sin and enter in. Be born in us this day. You know, sing it to any Christmas song. O little child o holy child of Bethlehem, descend to us, we pray. Cast out our sin and enter in. Be born in us today. See, they're just meant to be sung. A typical hymn meant to be sung. Notice that there is a long pause indicated by a semicolon. This is typical of the hymnal form. For music purposes, a semicolon is like a period. Deep breath for musical. Right? A ballad is a song devoted to ideas and emotion about secular. A lot of ballads are love ballads. Their ballads are story songs. What is it? The Billy Joel was great at ballads. A typical ballad here, like a hymn, it's meant to be sung. Most pop songs are ballads. Notice that there's a long pause indicated by a semicolon. This is typical of the form. Notice some of the things that are repeated in hymns and ballads, both forms meant to be sung, both forms with long pauses. And it's fare you well, my dearest dear, it's fare you well forever. And if you don't go with me now, don't let me see you never. It's a dumb ballad, but sure, you can sing that to any pop tune. So both of these are folk, right? Folk, common person, common folk forms. They're usually in quatrains, but not always, as you'll see. Odes are written. Ballads can also take the form of odes. Odes are written in honor of a person, but maybe on any topic. There's a famous Keats ode that we may look at later on in the semester. Ode to a Grecian urn. Ode upon first looking into Chapman's Homer. In memory of the first time I read the Iliad. Whatever. So we'll look at some. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Here's John Donne again. The other day we looked at The Flea. Now we're going to look at one of his hymns. It's your job to read the whole thing. I'm going to read just the beginning, maybe the first two stanzas of it, and get you started so that you can answer the questions. So here's John Donne, one of his religious poems. A hymn to God, in my sickness. He's kind of ruminating on his close coming death. He thinks he's going to, the speaker in this poem thinks he's going to die. So, we'll start by John Donne. Since I am coming to that holy room where thy choir of saints forevermore, where with thy choir of saints forevermore, I shall be made thine music. As I come, I tune the instrument here at the door. And what must I do then? Think here before. Whilst my physicians by their love are grown cosmographers, and I their map, who lie flat on this bed, that by them may be shown that this is my south-west discovery, perfectum febris, by these straits to die. And I joy that in these straits I see my west. Long pause. Yes, this is a 5-line stanza. He plays a bit with the quatrain form, right? We'll look at the first room, come. It's an off rhyme, but it rhymes. Evermore, door, before. Grown, lie, shown, discover I, die. So it's kind of like a quatrain with a couplet at the end. Why do that? What is he trying to? What ideas is he trying to intertwine? You'll read the rest of it. Right. I want you to think what the main metaphor is. I'm going to tell you that the main metaphor is in the second stanza. Look at what the speaker in the poem, is calling himself. And maybe you'll figure out what the main metaphor is. Stanza form, describe the stanza form and how how the speaker uses it to create a theme. Yes, it's not a straight quatrain, it's not a straight couplet, nothing like that. And give it a meaning in 2 sentences or more. Next, a ballad. Again, this is just the beginning. This is a long ballad, so I've chosen just to give you the beginning of this ballad. And we'll look at the same thing. I want you to look at the line. So we'll look at from Christabel, right? That's the name of the ballad. "'Tis the middle of the night," by the castle clock, and the owls have awakened the crowning cock. To whit, to woo, and hark again, the crowing cock, how drowsily it crew. This is the end of the line here. Printing wise, just so you're aware, printing, whenever they follow the line that follows is indented like this, it just means that it won't fit over here. So the printer's shifted down to here, but it indicates that it's all still one line. Sir Leoline the Baron rich hath a toothless mastiff bitch, and from her kennel beneath the rock maketh an answer to the clock, for the quarters, and the 12 for the hour, ever and aye by shine and shower. 16 short howls, not over loud. Some say she sees my lady's shroud. Okay. You'll continue on from there. Imagine if this were sung. Sing it to a pop tune if you like. See how weird that sounds. Same thing. We're trying to put these all together, right? We're trying to put together the ideas from the last 2 lessons, right? We're talking about metaphors, right? And remember, yes, this is long, and it's only part of the poem. So, yeah, don't worry about that. Right? What is the main metaphor? And how does the speaker develop this? Now, by develop it, I mean how does the speaker change it throughout the poem to develop the message? Just like we did with the essays, where the best essayists kind of change and grow the theme. The best poets change and grow their metaphor, which develops their theme. Same question, describe the stanza form, uh, explore the rhyme scheme, and how it helps the listener's ear, your ear. Where can I point? Oh, there it is, 3D. Your ear to hear the poem better and to hear the speaker's intentions better. That's what I mean by that. And last, no more than 3 sentences, give this part of the poem meaning. If you have questions, you can ask in class or you can join the meet, and all will be answered.